So in our previous class, we were discussing more on joins, the union all Cartesian product, how the Cartesian products is there. So I was talking like after that I was talking more on inner join. So we will today we will continue on inner join. So previously we have discussed on inner join with the foreign key and mostly on one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship. Today I'll give an example, bank transaction example, where we would be discussing on one-to-many relationship. So let me just go walk through that. Like, so before that I need to introduce like the tables, like what the statement, what is the scenario which we are going to deal now. Okay. So I have a customer table. So in the bank you will have a customer, and each customer will have a payee, and he need to pay the funds to that particular payee. So in the customers table, I have customer ID, customer name, and account number. And in the payee table as well, as I have a customer ID, payee account number, and payee name. Okay. And in the fund transfer table, I have a details with the payment ID. Okay. In customer ID and the payee account number, what is the how much amount he has transferred, on which date he has transferred. Okay. Now if you see my particular, I have inserted the data into the customer payee and this one, and I have a two customers, Alex and Jack, whose account number is 1001 and 100, like let me do 1002. Okay. And this particular customer ID has suppose like 1001, one like customer ID is one, right? Like Alex has two payees, Emmy and Ellen, and with the pay account number 1001, 101 and 102. Now what I want to say is like, if the customer ID one, Alex has done the four transaction, he has transferred the amount to Amy and Ellen, like you see this one. So now let's go back to our Oracle SQL developer in the database. We will see in detail, like I'll show you the tables which I have created. Okay. So first one is like customers. Select star from customers. Similarly, I do select the star from payee and also the fund transfer. So now if you see, one second, I just wanted to see what is my customer table. Okay, just a second. Customers, it is actually customers. Okay. So I have two customers. As I said, I have two customers, Alex and Jack. And let me look at show you the payee table. In the payee table, you would see the results, like you have a Emmy, Jill, Jen, like who has pay number, this one, and customer ID is 111. And you also have a fund transfer table which has all the fund transfer details. Okay. Now if you observe here, what I've been to say here, like the customer from the customer table, let me go back here to this table here. You need to identify before you go to the inner join, like are doing any of the joins. You first need to identify what is what you have whether it is a primary key, and you need to identify the composite primary key which has composite primary key or foreign key. Those things you need to identify. Now from this particular these two tables, if you observe, in the customer table you have customer ID is a primary key. Okay, and in the payee table, customer ID and payee account is the composite primary key. You need to identify, you need to give both these things. I need both customer ID, payee account number. You need to identify the payee correctly, because one customer has, Alex has two payee accounts, like he is paying actually to MA and Ellen. That's why you need both customer ID and payee account number. And in the fund transfer, if you see, you will have like composite primary key, composite foreign key, customer ID and customer ID and payee account number. Now my final output, I would like to see like the customer ID and customer name and to whom he has paid the amount. Okay, I wanted to get all the details. What is the output I wanted to get is, okay, I wanted to get so simply like payment ID, like what is the payment ID, who has done the payment to whom, and these details I wanted to get. So kind of payment ID, customer ID, okay, payee account number, okay, and the payee name. I want to get the amount, how much amount he has transferred, and when did he transfer, on which date he has transferred this one. So you see, can you get this particular all these things only from one table? You can't get, right? You need to do the join in order to get this one, right? Okay, now further, like we need to do a inner join. We will be using a inner join in order to get all these values. Okay, now let me yeah, yes, Chandu. Do you have a question here?
Can you show me that Excel in payee table?
Okay.
In payee table, why do you need customer ID of the customer who is paying? See, when it is a payee table, all the details need to be of payee.
Who to whom he is paying? Who is paying to whom? So if you see, Alex is paying to Amy, right? So Alex has, like, you are okay, let me give an example. You have an internet banking, okay, and in the internet banking you have an option called add payee, right?
Yeah.
So in the add payee, you will be adding a like all your friends. You suppose you have added Damodar, suppose you have added someone, okay, Madhu, you have added two accounts. Okay, how you will get? And so final bank account, like in the bank, if you bank perspective, if you see, he will have the customer ID and what are his payee names, like who is the payee he has added, all those details. Here also, from the bank perspective, his customer ID is, suppose one is Alex, let's say, or Chindu, let's say Chindu. Chindu is customer and he has two payees. He always transfers the money to Ami and Ellen, these two guys. So customer ID 1 is there, 11. He is transferring money always to 101 and 102 and their names. So what are the kind of transaction he has done? I have listed here. See, if you see here, payment ID. This is the payment ID 1001 with 1001 customer ID 1. Who is that? Chendu. Made a transaction 100 rupees to whom? To whom? To Ami on 1st Jan 2022. Okay. Similarly, this guy, customer ID 1, has made again to the Ami 200 rupees on 1st February 22. Clear? So this is from bank transfer. What is the fund transfer he has done? Who are the payees and the customer IDs? Got my point? Is it clear?
Yeah, the thing is, I understand the explanation. My doubt is like, why do we need to include customer ID and payee account in the same table? Instead, suppose payee details, payee account number and payee name are only the available data in payee. We can get the combination by using the union. No? Then,
No, if you are taking payee account only, you
because
need to how do you do the join, like how do you identify with the customer and payee, what is the relationship between both of them? Only payee account is not sufficient, you need to have a customer ID. So that's what I am telling, you can create that way also, but that will not give you. I am giving you an example of composite primary key concept, where you will have three different tables and you composite primary key and composite foreign key. On basis of that, like I wanted to show you the inner join, how you will be doing on multiple joins, like conditions on multiple join on multiple conditions. Okay, I'll show you. Once I give you the complete query and examples, then you will understand what I am trying to say. Okay, is that clear? Let's start here, then you will understand like what I am trying to say here. Okay, so now I will do something like, so first thing, always what you need to do, suppose select, let me just give blindly, after that I will give you whatever the details I wanted to get. So I wanted to do select a star from fund transfer, and I am giving an alias name as F. Okay, I'm just repeating fund transfer, and you have to give the alias name F I am giving. And if for inner join, what is the query, like syntax inner join. Inner join with what? I wanted to do the join with the payee account, and on payee. Okay, you are giving alias name as p, and you need to give a condition. So I am giving a on condition. Okay, p dot customer ID equals to, if you see here in this, in my table, in the payee I have a customer ID. Okay, in the fund transfer also I have a customer ID, and here it is a foreign key, so it is a primary key, so customer ID primary key dot foreign key. So I am just doing that pay dot customer ID and f dot customer ID. Okay, now since I'm saying like it is a composite primary key, I need to identify it uniquely. So multiple join conditions I need to give. So that is why you have a payee account composite primary key here. So I'm doing the join on the payee account also. So simply what you can do is like p dot, okay, p dot PACCT, okay, P account, okay, equals to F dot, what is that? Fund transfer. In the fund transfer, the column name. Okay, now I want to give something like order by payment ID. I want to get the values on the payment ID, but I don't need all the values. I wanted only specific values. What I need, I wanted payment ID. Okay, I wanted to get the customer ID. Okay, also I need account name from the fund transfer. Also I need to get the payee name and how much amount has been transferred and when it is transferred. So that is nothing but expert date, f dot expert date. Okay, now if I do this join, so the payment ID is wrong here. 1 second. Fi dot pmd. So you see now I'm getting a payment ID, customer ID, account name, account number, account name, the amount that transferred on this one. So you need to understand it, how inner join pattern here. What I am doing here, I am just taking select star from child C inner join parent P. Okay, who is the child here? Fund transfer is the child here, and doing it on a parent table. Okay, I'm just going back here. The parent table have a composite primary key and the child table has a composite foreign key, and top of it, like I'm doing the join. And on what basis you are doing? You are doing with a child primary key. Okay, child with the primary key, and parent with the foreign key. You just need not to confuse. I'm just wanted to give you some thorough understanding of primary key foreign key. You can directly identify simply like, okay, I have a common ID between these two. Okay, we can do the join between these two. So that's how like you also can think of it. So if you want to think child and these things, parents and table, you can just think in this way. So this is a kind of a pattern, inner join pattern we have. Okay, clear guys? Now if you observe, how many transactions I have made in my table, I have made 6 transactions in my actually fund transfer table. I have 6 transactions, and you have a customer ID like 4, right? So inner join is giving all the matching conditions are there. So it is giving me the exact this one. Now I want to, instead of inner join, let me do the same thing with the cross join. Okay, what I will do, I'll just do the cross join here. So for the cross join, what will be the syntax? Instead of inner join, you give the cross join, and in the cross join, you will not have a join on condition. So I'm just giving a where condition. And suppose in the where condition, suppose if I remove this one, account number, I just removing, time being, I'm removing it. And I'm running the query. You see, you got 10 transactions. And if you observe here, hello, audible? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible, guys? Okay. So if you observe here, the payment ID, customer ID, actually some of the rows, like you got a 10 rows, but actual transaction table I have is actually 6 transactions only I have made. Like this particular table has made only the 6 transactions, but you are getting 4 extra rows. Why you are getting those 4 extra rows means, so always remember, cross join gives a meaningless data when you're doing, when you're not doing a right kind of a where condition, filter conditions. Okay, now if you see customer ID 1 and actually customer ID 1 Ami or Chendu has only 2, Ami and Ellen should be there, but customer ID 1 has other transactions also, Jill and these things also will come, like because it will give all the combinations basically. So that is not a right way. So always make sure that like the inner join gives the based on the particular conditions. Okay, it will give a relevant data only, not the irrelevant data, but whereas a cross join gives the all the irrelevant data. That is the point I just wanted to make here. So I'm just telling this one. Okay, clear up to now? Clear guys? Now okay. Yes, sorry, anyone speaking? Okay, now so can we give a filter condition in inner join? So yes, now we can get a filter condition with inner join. So I'll just write like inner join with filter condition. Okay, now let me take an example of my previous table, like employee table and computer table. Like, okay, select from employee table, you know, right? Like, okay, I'll give some select star from employee first, and then I'll give as E as alias name, and doing inner join with computer table C on E dot computer ID equals to C dot computer ID, and you can give a where condition. I want to give a where condition where model equals to, I want to take model is wash true. Okay, I don't want all the columns, I need only few columns. What is that? I want ID. Okay, you can select. C in the computer. In the computer you have a computer ID. So from the C I am taking computer ID, and I wanted to take the model value, model name. Okay. Now if I do the join, run this query. So you are only getting the model which is Ostro on the inner join. You are getting the model which has the Ostro. Okay. Can there is another way, like we can also do this way also. Instead of this, I can use this way also. And model equals to Ostro. Instead of where condition, I can give. So on specifically, you can give. We can mention this way also. So this is also giving me a same result. But what is the difference here? It is recommended that it is better to, okay, mention filter condition, okay, filter condition in inner join with where, okay, using where rather than on class. Clear guys, this point? So these are some best practices when we are using the joins with the filter conditions, filters. So when using joins between related tables, always use on clause only to specify the relationship between the tables. Do not add filter conditions on it. Mostly like use, and you need to use the where condition at the end of the table, like at the end of the filter condition. Okay, where condition should be specified, filter condition at the end. Okay, so you need to give the where condition after the inner join at the end. This is um, one of the best practice you need to follow. Okay, now like I was telling, like when joining more than two tables, okay, when you are doing a join with more than two tables, suppose here the student table is there and the course table is there and marks details table is there. So student and course, if you observe, it is a one to many relationship. Like one student can have multiple can register in the multiple courses. Okay, and if you see here, the student id is a primary key here, and in the course id, in the course table, course id is the primary key, and here student id and course id is composite primary key. Okay, and what happens actually, like in the back end, what happens when you're doing a table one with join with table one and table two? What it will do, it will take the results from these two into a temporary table, then it will do the join with this table. Suppose if I first thing, like you can do, you're getting my point, right? Like suppose I want to get first name, student name, and the course name and the marks. How many ways you can do the join? First, I can do the marks details with the student details, mark details table with the student table on the student id. Combining these two results, I can do the join with the course id. That is one way. The other way is like I can do the join with student table and course table, and you will get a temporary table, the temporary results, and combining these two results, then you will get the, you will combine with the table 3, which is mark details. Other way, like, so always like three tables are there, like you can do uh like three different ways, three different joins you can create. Are you getting my point here, guys? Clear?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, okay. So if you want me to write the three different queries, I will just write. If not, you can try it and you want. So simply I wanted to say, let me try f name, c name, marks from marks underscore details m. Okay, I'm doing inner join with the student s. Okay, on m dot student id equals to s dot student id, and again I'm doing inner join, okay, with the course c on, what is that, course is like m dot course id equals to c dot course id. This is one way. The other way is like first I can do the join student mark details with the course and again with the student. The other way. The other way is course and student and this way. So these are like three different ways you can do the join. Clear, right? Guys, are you clear? So now suppose I have done this join and I wanted to, okay, let me just do this one, run this particular query. And you are getting the Damodar is like appeared for two courses, maths and physics, the marks you are getting. So now I want to apply some filter condition on here. Where you need to give the filter condition, I want to get the course name which is registered for maths. How you will write? And simply you will write at the end where course name equals to maths. Okay. If I do this way, I'm getting the rows which has which is the subject name is like maths. Clear? Is it clear, guys? And you can also give many other conditions also. If you want to get any other values also, you can just get. So when we are joining a like multiple tables, so if for three tables if you are joining, you would need a two conditions, two joins. Okay, for n tables you will need n minus 1 join conditions. So join tables uses the on clause with foreign key and primary key relationship. And whenever you wanted to add a filter condition, please you don't it is always recommended to give where condition, not on condition. Okay, not on clause. So the order in which the tables joined doesn't matter. You can join any order in any order. Okay, so always make sure to specify the filter condition at the end. So these are the points I have been telling up to now. So just I have given a summary. Now we can move on to the next concept. Clear, guys, up to now? Is it clear? Okay, that's an S. I'm thinking. So now we will see like inner join with group by. So where exactly like you would be requiring the group by. Now this, let me go back to my requirement here. I have a student table, course table, and mark details are there. I want my output something like this: first name and course count. I want to get the course count. The student Damodar here, he appeared for in the two courses like maths and I think maths and physics he appeared. So I need the count of this one, and also John. And whereas Jack, he did not appear in any exam. So you also need to get those details. How you would be getting it? So simply, I was telling you last time in my previous class, if you listen to it, like I was telling group by, I was telling you the group by and count. So simply like, let me first do this one, student ID, and I do the count of star from, what is this? Like a count of star, I'll take it as course count. Okay. From marks underscore details group by student ID. Simply let me run this one. Right here. So you see student ID 1001 and the course count is 2 and 1002 is like has appeared for 1. But does it make sense like when a customer like client is seeing the IDs is saying, but he what actually he needs is like he needs a name of the student who is actually that student ID, right? So how you will get, do you have information in the marks details only you have a student ID but you don't have a student name? Then what you need to do, you just need to you need to join this table with the student table, right? Like marks details with the student table, then you will get the this one. So here I have given a wrong way, gender, and here it is f name. Okay, so f name. So I need to do the join with the marks details and the this one, and then I need to do the group by. Now how you will write this one using inner join? Let me write it. Select, I'll take okay, again let me just first to avoid the confusion, first I will do select star from marks details. Okay, select star from mark details, and I'll give a alias name m, and I am doing a inner join with which table? Student table s. Okay, on what I wanted to do the join on student ID. So I'm doing a join on the student ID, s dot student ID and m dot student ID. Okay, what is the other thing, you know, since we wanted a course content count of this one, now let me write here, I want student ID here, student ID, and count of star as course content, course count. Since you are giving an aggregate function, you always make sure you have to give a group by. Aggregate function always should come up with a group by. So I am doing with student ID. Now I am running it. Again, you got a student ID and course content, course count, the same result you got. But what actually I need? I don't need a student ID. I need student name. From where it is coming? Student name is coming from the student table, the first name. So what is that name? S dot f name is the column name. Okay, so you can give alias name as student underscore name, you can give. Now let me run this query. Okay, so what is the reason here? The reason is like when you're doing a join, and always mention, I was in my previous class I was telling you that we need in the group by whatever the columns you have given, you need to give those columns here. So I need to give student and f name also I need to give in the group by class. Now if I run this one, see, you see Damodar has appeared for 2 and John has appeared for 1. But you are not getting another, like if you see select star from student, select a star from student table. So actually there is another guy also, John. You're not getting this record because he has not appeared here. So I'll tell you in the like how you will get this also, I'll tell you in my next class. So I hope it is clear as of now, you guys. So I want to tell here another thing. Let me do the same thing here. Same way I'll write a query. I have given a student ID there, right? Like if I remove the student ID here, I'm just doing a first name and this one, I'm running it. Here also I'm getting the same query. Both the ways I am getting. What is the difference between that and this? So whenever you are doing a group by like on using a inner join, you can use the student ID or you cannot use. That is your wish, but it is always mandate like what is the column besides the aggregate column you are giving, that column should be present after the group by condition. So but there is a difference actually when you are doing it the student ID and F's name, and this one Okay, now let me run it. So John and Damodar, and here it is. When you add a new number of rows, you will see the difference actually. Let's say I wanted to add a new value. Now I will add insert into student. Okay, values. I'll add a new student 1004. Okay, and I'll add a person. In the student table, what are the other values? So gender. Just give me a second, guys. Select star from student. So first is gender, then name, then date of joining. Okay, so I'll give something like, okay, and 15. So now one row got inserted. Now let me run this query. And also now let me run this query also. So on student ID, join on student ID, and then instead of group by, I'll just run like this. I think in the marks also I need to, so in the mark details also I need to, so student detail I have inserted. I need to insert the mark details, insert into marks underscore details table, the values I'll insert 1004 and 190. So one row got inserted. Now you see, now you're getting Manju also is 1. And now let's say here I'm running this also, and you see John 1, these two. Can you observe the difference here? Manju 1, John 1, Damodar 2. And if you do the student only on the first name, and if you run this one, this is, so okay, I think 1 second. Student name and group by student ID and the first name. Let me remove the group by here. Simply, okay, not the group by. What is this first name? So you will observe this change, like student ID I have not given correctly. So you would be observing that Damodar would come as 3, like on the student ID and this one, you will observe that these two changes. So always like make sure that like on the both of these things, like student ID and the first name, you need to give in order to get a relevant correct output. Okay, clear? Clear, guys? I can explain here also, like from the table, if you visualize, you will get it here. 1 second. Where is this table? So in the student table, I have added 1004, this one, okay. the marks details also given 1004, and the course id, what I have given, course id as 1, the marks I have given is 90. So course count, when you are getting a first name as a course count, Manju should get like one value, right? When you're doing a join on the student ID and the course ID, both the student ID and course ID. So 1001 and 100, if I give something like this again, 10011, so you would be getting only one value. So you just need to see those combinations. Okay. How many like student ID and course ID only if you take, so you would be getting different values. Only student ID if you're taking, you will get the count as 2 for Damodar and 1 for Manju and 1 for John. Clear? Guys, is it clear to you? Can I get the response here? Guys, I want response from you whether you understood or not. Suppose if I write the query like this. Okay, again. So this is also like you're getting the same thing, but I need to enter a value with course ID different. I'll just show you the different. You can observe, like if you try it, try on your own and give different values and see the difference, you will get those values. Okay. So here, like after I just wanted to summarize like what I have done, what I told till now with the group by and inner join. So when you join the two tables, you can use aggregate functions or expressions using a group by column to group by any column. Okay. So output from the join will be given as input to the group by. Okay. From output from this join condition will be given a input to the group by class. And the columns required in the display and the columns required for the group by need not to be the same. So you need to choose the right combination in the group by like I was telling you, like right combination, what is the exact result you want. So you need not to give the student ID, like the columns which are in the on condition need not to be there. So you just need to select, choose wisely, like what the combination you need, what are the columns you need it. Clear up to now? So with this, we are done with the inner join with the group by and where condition. Now, I would like to talk on the other join, very important join. Okay, we are done with the inner join. So simply this is the syntax. Select star from employee inner join department and the department number.